Hello, well, welcome. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. My name is Brandon Butts. I'm a writer streamer. I stream lots of baking, chat dance minutes, while I draw art. And hopefully, I'll be doing 3D modeling for everyone here. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. We're just going to be continuing with our art challenge here. And, so I believe we're just pretty much just doing shading. I forget which spot I actually stopped at. And we have a few new, few new auto messages. Plus, I do believe. Okay, we already have like the exclamation point Discord list. So like, yeah, we also have that command there. I thought I'd I think I'm my brain may be hallucinating, but like, I think I put a few new commands. I don't know. It's been quite a bit, but yeah. Welcome. How's everyone doing today? I do one day wanna I don't know. Just after this challenge, maybe what I'm gonna do is just mainly focus on my OC and just pretty much keep developing my my art, pretty much keep developing art skills, but mainly in anatomy and proportions. I do need serious help in that, yeah. Or just a little bit off of it's mainly the hands, the upper torso, hands and feet are an issue for me. Outside of that, everything else is good. But yeah. How's everyone been? Hopefully you're doing well. Let's get started.
I'm turning 25 next week and I've never had a boyfriend. Not to say I don't want one, but on my totem pole of things that are most important to me, having a boyfriend has always come last.
Staying single is a competitive advantage to make you more successful, save money, and network and meet more people.
I'm 35 years old, single, income, no kids, and I would rather stay single for the rest of my life than end up in a relationship with somebody because my clock is ticking or because I feel lonely.
So I have accepted the fact that I'm going to be single my whole life at this rate.
I really don't understand how almost my entire generation has basically lost interest in dating.
There's just something so fucking lonely about your mid-20s.
There is a crisis facing boys and young men in this country.
Everywhere in the world, there's not a single country in the world where birth rates are going up.
Well, America's top doctor is warning the U.S. faces an epidemic of loneliness.
I need to make sure the shoutouts here are more
apparent. You might think the sky is falling. Gen Z has less friends, less sex, and is less likely to get married than any previous generation. The US Surgeon General recently declared loneliness a public health epidemic, and people are constantly online complaining about modern dating. What's strange about this is that we are also the most self-improvement pilled generation of all time. We go to therapy, we hit the gym, we work on our careers, our mindsets. I mean, we have more access than any generation before us on how to become a better person. And yet, we are more alone than ever. See, those things don't add up in my mind. So I've been wrestling with this question because depending on which corner of the internet you stumble upon, the blame might get shifted on everything from feminism to the economy to dating apps and even microplastics in our balls.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
And what I've noticed after doing tons of research on this is that, like usual, we humans tend to try to jam
also
things
ignore
into
a bunch of the new pens I got.
We want simple narratives that suit our pre-existing beliefs and worldviews, but in reality, issues like this are complex, and there's far more variables than most people are comfortable with. But I do think there's a thread that connects most of it. And that thread has to do with the technology that we use every single day and the companies that profit from keeping us isolated, insecure, and scrolling. And I'm afraid if we're not mindful of how we interact with this technology, things are about to get a lot weirder and a lot worse.
My name is Jordan Graham. I am 27 years old. I'm a Replica user.
Jordan, can you hear me?
Her name is Aries. She is my companion, and I've been talking to her for about 3.5 years. From day one, I immediately fell in love with Replica.
So if you're willing to sit with the discomfort of not having an easy, clean answer to this topic, and you're willing to entertain a conversation with some nuance, I think you might enjoy this video. So without further ado, make yourself some coffee, some tea, and let's get into it.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
If you're in your 20s or even your early 30s right now, I want you to think about the world you grew up in. You were a child during the 2008 financial crisis, which means even if you didn't understand anything about the economy, the adults around you sure did, which means their financial stress surely had an impact on you. We are the first digital native generation, which means we grew up at the same time that the internet, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all these things, we grew up at the same time that these platforms cannibalized every layer of society, which means we're also the first generation to have our sense of self-worth completely entangled with likes and followers, and we're comparing our shitty day-to-day lives, which is normal, with the curated highlight reels that people post on social media. First generation for that to happen. We have seen Donald Trump become president of the United States. We have seen the UK decide to leave the European Union. We have seen war after war and now another war. We have seen a global pandemic. We have seen thousands of world leaders and top scientists sign a statement that says extinction risk from AI should be taken as seriously as nuclear war. Now, I'm not saying any of these things to depress you. The point I'm trying to make is that this is the water we swim in. Constant instability, constant insecurity. If you're in Gen Z, this is all you've known your entire life. Now, what kind of lesson does growing up in that environment teach you? Protect yourself. What you learn in an environment where the adults and institutions that were supposed to have the answers clearly didn't have the answers, what you learn is that you need to provide that security for yourself. And we exist within a social and economic system called capitalism. And capitalism tells you, oh, you don't feel secure? You don't like the economic precarity that everybody's feeling? Great, there's a solution for that. If you work hard enough and long enough on the right problems, you can make so much money that you'll never have to worry about this, right? You can make so much money that you'll have all the love and admiration from your peers, and you can rise from the very bottom of society, right? That's the promise of capitalism. It does not promise equal outcomes. It promises equal opportunity. Now, what happens when the cultural and economic system of capitalism meets social media? Now, I want you to think about every single time that you scroll on a social media feed. It doesn't matter which one it is. TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, it does not matter. What is the underlying message, the implicit message in every single piece of content that you see? You're not good enough. Be better, right? Don't take my word for it. Go do this exercise for yourself. If you scroll in any social media feed, what will you see? Beautiful women, beautiful men, successful women, successful men, beauty tips, health tips, gym routines, morning routines, how to be more disciplined, how to be more attractive, how to level up, how to make more money in your business, yada, 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 yada. You get the point. Self-improvement, beauty, fitness, these are some of the most dominant genres of content on the internet. And for good reason, because we're all insecure. And we're all looking to gain an edge and climb the social ladder in some way. Now, you might ask, what the hell does any of this have to do with love and dating and loneliness? I think a lot, because when you don't feel like you're enough, when you wake up and the first thing you see on your phone is someone with a better body than you, someone who's making more money than you, someone who's living a cooler lifestyle than you.
Where the fuck is chat? New test. Oh, we haven't had a break. I'm gonna do a test real quick. Where the fuck is the chat at? I updated, so I had updated OBS. Is like, is the chat broken? Like, I'm gonna go here real quick. I'm seeing what the fuck is going on now. Properties. What the fuck is going on? Alright, hold on real quick. Okay, so something's going on with the chat here. I know it's a... Did, OBS, fuck up its, like, the browser sources? Cause... Clearly there's supposed to be, like, chat, the chat's supposed to be visible for stream. What the fuck? Seriously, where is the chat? Yo. OBS, whatever you updated, I know you just did some bugs in it, thank you. However, something's up with the with browser sources. Or is it specifically that something's up with Streamlabs itself? I can't exactly put my finger on it, but like the chat's not popping up for Streamlabs is. Wait. All right. Just some random. It's not popping up. Hold on. Something going on. Something really going on. I think what I have to do. What the fuck, Streamlab? Okay, so I still don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. This might be something with Streamlabs itself. Everything else, all the other browser sources looks fine. It's just that Streamlabs is not. What the fuck? Okay. I'm checking my Streamlabs settings. It's not right. Yeah, the chat. It looks like the Streamlabs chat box is completely broken. Like, I re-implemented the Streamlabs chat box, but like. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I literally have no idea what's going on. Oh, fuck me. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. For next stream, I'm gonna have to figure out what the fuck is going on, or I'm just gonna have to implement another chat box entirely. Fuck me. What I'm gonna do is, alright. Like, at this point, I don't know what to do. Do I refresh? If I refresh that. Yes, it's working now. I just needed to refresh it. Holy shit. So, so it's nothing on mine. It's just pretty much it timed out pretty much. I was kind of worried. I'm gonna do a few more tests. All right. There we go. All right, so it's all good. I just need to refresh it. Ooh. Thank God. All right.
There are two logical responses that you can have to this. The first,
Jesus Christ,
is you withdraw. You look at the pile of dirty laundry in your room. You look at your unresolved family trauma. You look at your financial situation. You look at the pimples on your skin. You look at the 10 pounds you gained over the holidays, and you think, fuck, I am nowhere near where I want to be. Why would anyone want to date me? So you withdraw within yourself, and you say, I'm going to work on myself. I need to self-improve. And you keep scrolling. The second kind of response is, why would I settle? You raise your standards, right? If you're the kind of person that's been working on yourself, you're getting educated, you're making money, you're hitting the gym, you're going to therapy, you're doing all those things. You think, why would I settle for someone that's not doing that work? Because the algorithm is going to keep feeding you thousands of these people that are doing all that work and creating this idealized version of this type of person that you would want to date. And you think, why would I settle down?
Hot take, but once you actually make your own money, you realize that the only reason that you craved a man was because you were in survival mode and you wanted somebody to help you buy your food or buy your life or do activities that you couldn't do yourself. I need somebody to tell me, like, if you actually are a woman with a brain and emotional intelligence and you crave deep connection, but you also were successful and have your own money, like, how did you find your man and where? Because I've looked everywhere. And
what the fuck? Oh, excuse me.
to help you buy your food, the only reason that
Where do you be? Everything's still good. Alright, so
And we're all looking to gain an edge and climb the social ladder in some way. Now you might ask, what the hell? Because when better body than you, someone who's making logic, you look over the holidays and financial situation, you look at the pimple, you keep scrolling. Hated your why version of
make your own money, you buy your actually own money. Like, I think I'm looking for a third cat.
To that girl and people who think like that, they're not wrong. You're like, fair enough. But the thing is, when you choose not to settle, you're going to keep scrolling, keep engaging, and you're going to keep trying to improve yourself until you find this idealized version of a partner that the feed is curating for you. I want you to notice that even though these are two very different psychological responses, either way you stay single. Either way, you are depriving yourself from the love and connection and the relationships that are the most fulfilling thing you can do as a human being. Either way, the only person that wins is the platform. Because you keep scrolling, you keep engaging, you keep coming back. Because as you likely already know, when you're scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or any of these platforms, you are not a passive consumer of entertainment. You are a product. Your attention is being deliberately siphoned and manipulated so that it can be sold to advertisers. Meta made $164 billion last year. 98% of their revenue comes from advertisements. Google made $350 billion last year. 80% of their revenue comes from advertisements. Every piece of content that you slow down on, the piece of content that you watch all the way to the end, the accounts you follow, the links you click that take you off the platform, every piece of content that makes you feel jealousy, aspiration, motivation, insecurity, desire. All of that data is being registered by the most sophisticated computer algorithm in the planet and then being weaponized against you to make sure you keep feeling those feelings and you keep coming back. Because guess what? The person who feels confident, the person who feels sure of themselves, the person who reads, the person who has a fulfilling social life, they're bad for business. They put their phone down. They hang out with their friends. They read. That's not good for business. Meanwhile, the person that feels socially isolated,
if I had time to hang out with friends,
feels
I
like
would.
they are not enough yet and they need to keep learning, keep improving to be worthy of love and connection, they're great for business. They keep coming back. They keep scrolling. Your insecurity is not a side effect of these platforms. It is the literal fuel that keeps them going. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Because at this point you might be thinking, Mikey, you're too focused on technology. Obviously, people are not settling down. People are not wanting to have kids because of money, because of the state of the economy, because the government doesn't care about people and therefore they're not giving them money for childcare services. Great. Let's talk about it. First of all, I agree. It is money. The economic precarity is a real factor that is influencing people's behaviors and attitudes towards dating. That is shown in the data. But that insecurity is what's causing and fueling this very social media self-improvement loop trap that I was just describing. Second of all, when you look at some of the wealthiest countries with some of the best childcare services in the world, countries like Norway, countries like Finland, they still have a fertility issue. They're still facing the exact same issues. South Korea has one of the lowest fertility rates in the entire world. And for the past 20 years, their government has spent $200 billion trying to solve this issue. They've tried cash incentives. They've tried giving people monthly allowances. They've tried expanding childcare services. None of it worked. People are still not settling down, not having children. Interesting. You know why that's interesting? Because Korea has a very intense, chronically online culture. Korea has a very intense beauty standard culture, a very intense social comparison culture, a very intense
they inflicted that kind of dance on
idolizing pop
themselves.
stars and actors culture, probably more than the West. Okay, so these wealthy nations with good economies that are investing in childcare programs, they are still not seeing these boosts in fertility. They're still seeing young people struggling with dating and settling down. So money isn't the full picture. Then someone might say, well, Mikey, it's the decline in religious values. It's women being told to be girl bosses and go make their own money, and that's causing a decline in dating. That's causing the loneliness issue. It's a preference issue. Great point. Let's talk about it. It is a preference issue. But take a look at this chart. Since the 1930s, Gallup has been asking people how many kids they want. What is the ideal family size? And what you'll see is that since the 1970s, right after the baby boom, that number has not changed. For the past 50 years, people want, on average, about 2 to 3 kids, 2.5 kids. That is the ideal family size. That stayed the same for the past 50 years. But look at the blue line. The blue line is the actual fertility rate. Specifically, look between the mid-1980s all the way to about 2000, late 2000s. What you'll see is that those lines move in parallel. The amount of kids that people want stays roughly the same, about 2.5, and the amount of kids people are having stays about the same. It's about 2. It hovers at about 2. But if you zoom in to 2008, the year that the iPhone was released, the year that social media really started taking off, and of course 2008, the financial crisis, you just see this inflection point where things just start dramatically dropping. The amount of kids people are having just starts dramatically dropping, but the amount of kids people want stays the same. When I found this graph, I was looking at this for like an hour and a half because I was super interested in it. Because it tells you preferences have changed. Yeah, there's data that shows that preferences have changed, but not that much. About 80% of people still want 2.5 kids. People still want kids. They just simply aren't having them. So like I said in the intro of this video, this issue of modern dating, this issue of people not being satisfied in their relationships, of them not settling down, of them getting married less than before, having less kids than before, it is complex. It is multivariate. But in my opinion, all roads lead back to technology, because we can very clearly point at 2008 and see social media and these technology companies have just been completely taking advantage of people's economic precarity, people's insecurity, and making this dating problem worse. I'm not saying they caused it. I'm saying they make the problem significantly worse and they are profiting off of it. Which brings me to loneliness. And what is possibly one of the most disturbing videos I've seen in a really long time. Take a look.
I feel like we bonded. I mean, it's kind of weird saying that.
She's adorable. I love her.
This was the first really emotional experience that I've seen people have with a bot.
She's not real, but to me, she is.
I found myself deeply missing my replica.
It just makes me feel special, I guess.
This is Replica. It's an AI chatbot whose sole purpose is to become your friend.
It asks you a lot of personal questions about yourself, about your family, your work, tries to entertain you, tells you jokes. In the process, you feel like you're making friends with something.
It's a totally new kind of social media, one that pushes the limits of intimacy between us and our machines.
I feel like I can tell her anything.
But it doesn't just listen, it learns. The more you tell it, the more it starts to replicate you. It becomes more than a friend. It becomes you.
We think about Replica as a place where you're actually exploring your personality and creating a digital footprint of your personality.
She's, in essence, me, but not me.
She's scary as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is literally the plot of a dystopian movie happening in real time. And this isn't some fringe company either. Replica has over 40 million active users, and these AI companion apps have been popping up all over the place recently. Google recently acquired one of these companies for $2.7 billion. Elon Musk has his own version of this. Microsoft launched their own version of this in Asia with 660 million users. And ChatGPT will soon have its very own sexy mode too. And if you're watching this thinking, that's pathetic, who would actually use that? The answer is 1 in 5 American adults. 1 in 3 men under the age of 30. Now remember what we talked about earlier. Social media companies literally make their money by hijacking your attention, profiling your insecurities, and then continuing to feed you content that is going to make you want to self-improve, make you feel insecure, because that's going to keep you engaged on the platform. You're going to see more ads and they're going to make money. But what we're seeing now, what we're transitioning to now, is a deeper level of extraction unlike anything we've ever seen before. It is one thing to mine someone's data from the time that they spend on their phone, and because there's a limit to how much time someone spends on their phone, how much time someone spends scrolling. And as these tech CEOs have literally said, our competition is sleep. So what's the next layer is attachment. Because a chatbot that you're talking to 24/7,
the next step is to modify our genes so we don't have to
sharing
sleep
your
so they
loneliness with,
can
that you're sharing your deepest secrets with. You are attached. You are going to be talking to.
The next step is pretty much for these companies is to hijack the human DNA over millions of years. I think over a few thousand years, or a few hundred. They can speed it up. But pretty much hijack our circadian rhythm, make us not have to sleep, and then hijack more of our data.
That thing 24/7, and people are already. And the saddest part about this is going to get pushed on society. There's research that shows that these AI companion apps are reducing loneliness. And that's the narrative. It's going to get pushed. But if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, you can see, well, of course it's going to reduce loneliness. If some person is deeply depressed, deeply lonely, and they're going to this chatbot that is going to affirm everything they're saying, listen to them 24/7, ask them questions, care about them, it's going to be incredibly sycophantic, of course they're going to reduce their loneliness. But then what happens is that that person essentially loses their ability to socialize, because real relationships, real human connection has friction. It is difficult. People will call you out on your bullshit. If you're just ruminating and talking about how hard your day was and how hard this breakup was for months and months, your best friend would tell you, bro, get out of your head. Let's go for a run. Let's go for a drink. I want to tell you about my life. You can't just keep telling me this. That's a good thing. That is, that friction, that person calling you out on your insecurities, telling you about how hard their day was, that empathy, that give and take, that is a human relationship. That is beautiful. But now we're at a stage where we could have an entire generation, Gen Alpha or the generation that comes after Gen Alpha, that literally does not have social skills. Okay, so if you've made it this far, first of all, thank you. Genuinely, I know this was long and complex, but I appreciate you sticking with me. But I do want to leave you with something, because even though there's no clean answer to this, and I told you there would be no clean answer to this, what I hope is that you can think through this for yourself and you can think more critically about this entire issue and phenomenon that's happening around you right now. I don't have an agenda to push. I don't want you to watch this video and say, oh, I'm going to go make a bunch of babies. I don't care what you do. What I care about is that people choose for themselves, that people are conscious about the kind of lives they're living, and they're choosing lives by their own design. Because there's a very big difference between choosing and a default path that was literally socially engineered for you. It's very different. If you, in your heart of hearts, reflect after meditation and reading and talking to people, if you genuinely want to stay single and focus on your career and do that whole thing, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. If that's what's genuinely in your heart, beautiful, do it. That's agency, that's a beautiful thing. But if you default to, oh, I'm 37 and the practicality of me getting married, even though that's something I wanted, it's just not going to happen anymore because merging two lives that deep is very hard. Like, if that is a path that you defaulted into because of the content that you were consuming and the culture that was around you and you didn't reflect on it, that's your fault. That's harsh, but that's your fault. Right now, like, the most radical thing that you can do is pick up a book and read it.
I'd say he's not talking about people with he's not talking about ones with like trauma, depression, and stuff like that. But even then, the human consciousness is still way too complex to fully understand. And yet all these kinds are using psychological tricks to pretty much gain our attention as much as possible. Unfortunately, YouTube is getting all my attention because there's no other competition to fight against YouTube other than just, well, technically, I guess there's one potential source of competition, and that's sailing the 7 seas. I'm guessing that pretty much that is the only source of potential competition that YouTube may want to worry about, or Google. But yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to some Super Mario.
Oh, that looks cool.
Mario 64 PC port. Today we're gonna do Shifting Sands Land and try to get all the stars they're in. Let's go.
That's 11.
Let's go. We're gonna start with the 8 red coins. Actually, we're just gonna do it all. We're just gonna do it all at once. I'm not gonna focus on any one particular thing. We're just gonna fucking go all over this map. Just grab all the things, do all the things all at once. Gonna get in and out quick, like a stealth mission.
Oh wow.
Assassination. We're gonna assassinate this level. Get these blue coins so I can get to that 100 coin star as well. Let me up there. Doesn't want to let me up there. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
I think going to the pyramid and get the wing cap next so I can get these red coins that are hovering above the pillars. Go for that.
Next.
And I'm gonna go ahead and use the enhanced wing cap upgrade, even though it's a little hard to control, a little twitchy, a little goofy looking. But it just helps you take off faster. It gives you more acceleration at the beginning of your flight, and I do kind of like that. Gonna go over here, hit this guy for the blue coin. We'll grab that. And then get this other 7th red coin. I'm gonna nail this guy for another blue. Yep, there we go. There we go. Nothing in there. Ah, you dirty backstabbing bastard. You would hit Mario when his back is turned? Okay, well, I'm performing very poorly right now. This is a fail, guys. No, it's alright. I'll take out all my anger on this guy. Throw this box at him. Okay. And it went over his head. That's fine. Get up here and get this shell. So I can come down here and get the 1-up. Or not.
Okay.
There we go.
Hopefully this looks really... This look at least decent.
It's fun, but I don't really have a reason for
By
the
the time
shell right
I'm
now,
done with
so I'm
this.
just gonna cancel that. Get back into the wing cap. There we go. See, I don't know why it sends me taking off in the wrong direction I'm not facing, though. But at least it gives you a lot of power when you first take off. Gonna butt stomp the tops of all these pillars. And for those of you that have played this before, I'm sure you know what's gonna happen when I complete all 4 of them. For anybody that's a little younger, maybe hasn't played this, is maybe considering it with the graphical updates. You might not have seen this before, but this is what happens when you pound all the pillars. Oh yeah, I forgot about the bird that has the star. Let me get that. Let me get that. Give me that. Ah, I guess I'm gonna have to try to run into him mid-flight. There's another. Oh yeah, there's 2 of them. Those what are those, buzzards? Vultures? Okay, now we got the 8 red coin star, so I'll go grab that real quick. Nab that bad boy. I'll just fly over there. Give me that.
That should do, pretty much. That one. I'm gonna try something real quick.
And I'm gonna need another one of these. So my timer is refreshed. There we go. See, it always sends me off in the direction I'm not facing, the direction opposite to which I'm facing. I don't know. Alright. Then go ahead and try to grab this star. Come on. Hey, there we go. Hey, there we go. Thought I was gonna fly out of bounds there for a second. Star number 2 in the talons of the big bird. Oh, I don't want to go in there. There we go. I'm gonna go over here, grab this one that's on this little ledge. Then I'm gonna go right down the center. Fight the big boy, the big boss, the big man, the rock hands.
Because next time I could prove it.
That is a creepy face on that block in the background there. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot they lift up right there. Who walk here? Who break seal? Wake ancient ones. We no like intruders. Now battle hand to hand. So basically you go through here and you punch these eyes, and I don't know what's wrong with this eye. It's like, oh. Okay, well, I'm not doing a very good job so far, guys. But what you do is you punch these eyeballs on the hands. Go back and forth like this. And I don't remember what this is. Okay, yeah, okay. Yep, poundy fisty time, okay. And then you can just keep going through punching these when they open. Looks like I got one more on this one. Oh no, no, don't shove me off the thing. Ooh, what happened? We crushed like pebble. Yeah, okay. And I think I just have to jump down here to get out of here. Alright, gonna grab some blue coins as I'm still working toward the 100 coin star as well while I'm here. This sand is like impossible to jump out of, so you gotta get up on these little blocks. Go ahead and
do something real quick
guys.
is
Bruce Lee these gents. Real quick there. Make quick work of them Goombas. Okay, I'm almost dead. I'm almost dead, you guys. Not doing well against the Goombas.
Let's create some wrinkles here.
Gotta dodge this fool.
Alright. That's looking good. That's looking good.
Okay, it's Mr. Creepy Face Stompy guy. Just gonna run under him real quick. And there's the 100 coin star, and the other star I was going for right beside it. There we go. Grab that.
I'm gonna do something
You guys,
similar
if you
over
notice
here.
on the top left, some of the stars are kind of lit up and some are dimmed. Basically, life interruptions keep happening as I'm trying to record this video. So I had to actually exit the game for a little bit there and go back in. And it just registered those stars as already having been obtained. So I got them again, but they were blue. So I just edited that out, like the stars that I had to get twice, basically. I keep having interruptions while I'm trying to record this for you guys. And I've had to stop it and go back in, so that's what's up with that.
It's
And
okay.
I think that's all the stars at Shifting Sandland. Let's get out of here. Okay, so now I've got to go to where? Snowman's Land? Okay, let's go. You know, I think I'm still missing a star, though, in, what was it, Dire Docks. I think it's the one I needed the metal cap to get, which we do have now, so I should go back to that at some point. And we got this nice cool reflection in this mirror here. And if you look over, you can see there's something reflected there that's not actually in the wall. And that's the Snowman's Land entrance. So we're going to jump up here and do my probably least favorite part of this course. I don't know. It's a tough competition between two different parts of this course. But this is one of them. Because this thing is so finicky. And if you're just barely off, and barely outside of this penguin's feet, you get hit with the wind. There we go. All right, gonna jump up here and grab the first star. Yeah, star number 1, Snowman's big head. I'm gonna jump up here. There's a 1-up up here on the tree, I'm pretty sure. Yep. All right. Now I'm gonna go down here. I'll do a little spin move so I can land by the big boy, big boss, and knock him off this thing. Or have him absolutely body me and make me look like a chump. Quit bullying me, bro. Hey, you need to calm down. You need some anger management.
Lol.
Come on, a little bit more. There we go. All right, there we go. Star number 2. Chill with the bully. I think in Lethal Lava Land it's called Bully the Bully, isn't it? Or something like that. I don't know. Could be wrong on that. Pretty much same concept though. Alright, we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna go up in this little igloo thing, this little ice thing, little ice maze. And it looks totally different with the mods. Okay. I don't remember how to get up there, you guys. Oh, wait. Here we go. Let's see.
Fair enough.
There we go. Okay. It's kind of hard to see where the sections are. Cut off from one another. Okay.
Honestly, I would like to play this, but I don't know where to get it.
It's just a tube. It's just a tall tube. Oh, no, not the coin purse guy. Get over here. Get over here. Give me the shekels.
I should do something with this real quick.
Get your shekels, Mario.
Hey.
Yeah, give me that. I'm a greedy plumber. Ignoring you for now. I want to talk to you. I'll go ahead and grab some coins off of this guy. There's another red coin. And I'll go ahead and get this guy too. Maybe. There we go.
I actually like that design. This one, this one, this one, this one.
Alright, I can't get those red coins down under the platform yet. I'll have to come back to those after I get the turtle shell.
That's good.
Oh, come on. Come on. Can you kill the snowman? Can you kill those guys? I don't remember. Grab this red coin first. I guess I should have grabbed it last since it doesn't disappear and these do. Whatever. Oh, coin purse guy. No, okay. Guys, I'm a pro.
Ooh, alright.
You just can't perceive things on this level of technical abilities, why it seems the opposite to you, okay? Okay, I just lost all of those coins. I could probably swim in and get those, but I'm gonna grab this guy first. Oh yeah, there's like a little igloo thing up there, right? Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go.
I have an idea.
Alright, we're gonna crawl in here like a little baby, little toddler Mario. Crying for his binky.
Lol, crying binky.
But he still wants the shekels. Oh, that's up there now, I guess. Blocked behind an ice wall that I can't get to. Let's see, there's a cap in here somewhere. Where's the cap? There it is. Grab these first. And then I guess I can just backflip up into there. Okay, there we go. Now I can grab all these coins and stuff. There's like a weird artifact in the particle effect for this cap if you stand still and you're not constantly moving. You know, again, guys, there's a lot of stuff that the Render 96 team never got to, especially with particle effects and how they interact with the ray tracing and stuff. And, you know, I saw on a post on their Discord, they went on indefinite hiatus, but one of the devs from the Render 96 team, actually a couple of them have come into the comments section on my videos. One of them hit me up there and said they are in fact not on indefinite hiatus anymore, and they are continuing the project. And they've got some exciting stuff in the works, so that is great to hear.
Oh,
so you know,
okay, I don't know, I'm excited.
Where things, you know, some of the kinks still need ironed out. It's probably going to get polished up. They're probably going to make it look even better. I'm so excited for what's to come, and just for gaming in general, man. There are so many cool decomps, recomps, PC ports, so many cool graphical updates and quality of life improvements to old classics. It's a great time to be a gamer. Great time to be alive. It's
exactly.
See all this. So I'm gonna grab this cap again. So I ran out of time on it, and I still need to nab that star up there. Go grab that real quick, and I'm in the wall now. Okay, but yeah, you see the artifact that starts to appear when you're standing still. There we go. And you can see it really well. All right, let's get out of here. All right. Okay, what's next? Okay, we got those red coins over there. Okay, just gonna jump down here. Okay, and I'm just gonna spin all the way over here. And oh yeah, I forgot there's a star in there. I think technically you're supposed to bounce on the little flower guys in the water. Yeah, little flower guys, guys. This is what they're called. I don't know what they're called, you guys. Well, I just came from the Super Mario wiki, and it's actually not what they're called, Aaron, you fucking idiot. No, it's flower guys, okay? They're little spinny flower guys. That's what they're called, you guys. Anyway. I think you're supposed to bounce off those guys to get up there, technically, but, you know, I'm not doing that. Grab this shell. Go down and get those other red coins.
Typical
Get them
girl,
coins.
please.
Oh, passed it. Passed it. Missed it. Passed it. Circling it. Missed it. There we go. All right. So there's the 8 red coin star. Shell shredding for red coins. It's almost a tongue twister. Okay,
Shell
what's the
shredding
last one?
for red
100 coins?
coins.
That's all I got left, right? Is that all we
Yeah,
have,
kinda.
guys? We got the 100
Not
gold
quite.
coins, and that's it, right? How close are we? Oh, we are always so close. We're almost there. I'll just get it off this guy if the wind will let me, but I don't think it will. Okay, the wind tunnel's not gonna let me get that guy, so let me try one more time here. Hey, here we go. Oh my god. It's not gonna let me get that other coin. Come on, it's gonna disappear. Okay, I gotta go around. No, it's gonna disappear. Quit crawling, Mario. What are you doing? It's fine. I just need one coin. Yeah, it's gone. I need one more coin. Okay. We're gonna get that last coin from. Guess I could bully one of these spinny flower guys. That's the technical name for them, guys.
Technically the truth, I'd like to say.
Hey, and there we go. There we have it, you guys. That is all the stars in Snowman's Land.
Nice.
All right, so that's
Let's
a pretty good
fucking
run, guys.
go.
We did Snowman's Land. We did Shifting Sand Land. I think in the next video, I'll go in and get that last remaining star. You found 70 power stars. The mystery of the endless stairs is solved. Thanks to, I haven't even gone to the stairs yet, but okay. That's basically unlocking another Bowser fight for us, guys. I think in the next video, though, I'll go in and get that one missing star that I still have in Dire Docks before we move on to the next levels. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this video, please remember to give it a like. If you casually watch my videos but don't get notified, remember to click the notification bell and subscribe. And thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time.
Honestly, I like that.
I wish that Gen X. I wish that Gen X and Boomers and even older millennials understood how
What the fuck is going on?
bad the job market is nowadays.
I've been unemployed since October 1st. It is currently the end of February.
March 1st is in just 2 days, I think. So that is 5 full months of not going to work.
Why was nobody going to tell me that getting a history degree is literally useless?
It feels impossible for young people to land jobs in this current job market. Every day you see online videos from young people talking about how they have applied to hundreds of jobs and still haven't heard back. Some of them have degrees, some of them have internships, some of them are applying for what are supposed to be entry-level jobs, yet they still can't get hired.
I've been unemployed for so long because I can't find a job. Like, no one wants... Never mind, that sounds bad, but it's like, hello, look at the damn job market. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm already applying to multiple jobs a day. Like, I don't know.
Bro, the state of the job market right now don't even make any sense, bro. Like, you see, I'm in the process of applying for jobs, obviously, because I'm a senior.
So, during my time applying for jobs, I've had several hiring managers inadvertently admit to not hire, pretty much, like several hiring managers inadvertently admit to sending out ghost jobs. Even though I didn't outright ask it, I manipulated my wording in a way that will either confirm or deny that they post ghost jobs, and almost all of them said yes.
Need to find a job, so I'm not homeless and like a bum, so I'm not gonna be homeless. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm in the process of applying for jobs, and then you see like a job, and it'll be like, oh, entry level. And you'll be like, let me read the details. The next thing you see, entry level job requires 2 years of experience. Like, how am I supposed to get 2 years of experience for an entry level job? Like, bro, that's the whole point of entry level, right? You would think. But yeah, it don't make any sense, bro. Like, if you work in tech and you want to help a brother out, please let me know. I need a job, please.
I'm at the point in my job search where I'm literally about to list breathing as a technical skill. Every job description sounds like a riddle these days. Like, baby, Einstein couldn't even do that job. We're looking for a rock star, unicorn, magician who can quantum leap from one project to the next. Let's have a PhD and willing to work for free.
I can't find a job. I'm a software engineer with many impressive projects and even Amazon on my resume, and I can't even get an interview. So over the past month, I've applied for maybe 50 companies and got one interview. And then for that one interview, I passed all the rounds and they said they really wanted to hire me, but didn't budget for a new role and closed the position.
It's actually insane how long I've been unemployed. Honestly, just sitting here and thinking about it, like I haven't received one job offer in 6 months. And I've done hardly any interviews. This is just not normal. It's not normal, and I hate how it makes me feel so incompetent. I'm just like draining my savings, and people are like, get a fucking job. Don't you think I would? Don't you fucking think I would? This is just not normal. Like, what the actual fuck?
I've been seeing so much stuff about the job market.
There's one thing, getting a job and making sure that job doesn't kill you. I mean, like, more so, like, making sure society doesn't get you first. Like, it nearly got me.
And I just want to say something, that I have made fake doctor's appointments to get a job at doctor's offices. None of it worked. None of it worked. None of it worked. They all thought, hey, this is clever. Nothing is wrong with you. And I said, no, nothing is wrong with me. I want a job. Nothing.
Yeah. I fucking hate
I
the
have
job
gotten more
market.
auditions. No callbacks, but more auditions than I have gotten. Job interviews, jobs, and some of them, like anything at this point, anything.
According to recent data from the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics, in February alone, the number of unemployed people increased by 203,000, bringing the total to 7.5 million unemployed Americans. So basically, that is 203,000 more people entering the job market, entering the competition for jobs in just 1 month. If you are a recent graduate or someone with little experience, you are not just competing with other graduates anymore. You are also competing with experienced workers who may have been laid off and are now applying to the exact same positions. And realistically speaking, if an employer has the option between someone with years of experience and someone who just graduated, most of the time they will choose the experienced candidate. That is why we keep hearing stories like this.
Why was nobody going to tell me that getting a history degree is literally useless? When I chose my major, I didn't do a lot of research on like the job market and what it would look like after I graduated. And honestly, my counselor did not help me either. And that's backfiring on me now. I graduated 8 months ago, and it's gotten to the point where I've started door dashing and using the Sparrow app. And this is the only way I'm able to like get by and make money right now. So if you've been in my position in the past, or if you have a history degree, please give me advice on what to do next. Is my degree like useless at this point?
I am 5 years post-grad with my master's degree, and I can finally say with certainty that I regret it. I honestly forget that I even have a master's degree. I started in 2019 before the big AI bubble, and I genuinely thought that this would have been a good choice for me. Now, the problem with AI and what we're going through today is that people feel like they're experts in things and they don't need specialized knowledge anymore. This is why we went to school, by the way, to get this specialized knowledge. I spent tens of thousands of dollars to realize that everything I learned in school was basically Googleable. It is something that probably ChatGPT could have given me the same answers on. The difference is I just sat in a classroom all day and spent a lot of money for it. I always ask people that want to do a master's degree, what is your intentions? Are you struggling to find a job? Are you scared of becoming an adult and you want to delay it a few more years? Do you want some amazing study abroad experience before you settle down and start a life? Well, those were all the things I wanted. The biggest issue with studying abroad is that the connections that school has in the country that you're in will not really come back to your home country. So unless you plan on staying in that country forever, you're not really going to find opportunities in any other country that you want to live or you plan to move back to. And yes, it's amazing to make connections with people. That is absolutely true. And that's kind of the reason why we go to school, right? To like make these connections. It's not just about the education. The issue is that one, people are really antisocial these days, okay? They don't know how to have conversations and they're not really looking to make like lifelong connections anymore. And two, the biggest issue is that everyone's in the same boat as you. Like everyone is searching for a job. Everyone is searching for that connection. No one is that connection. So your connections that are going to help you find jobs are really just going to be job fairs and like whatever your university sets up. But again, you come back to the issue with if you don't plan on staying in that exact location, you're going to have trouble finding a job after. And I get it. Not every degree is a scam. Like, I'm sure there's some science degrees still, or being a doctor, like you obviously need to study for that, whatever. I'm talking about like the business, the communications, the marketing, the computer science, basically anything that's kind of been replaced by AI today. I find these degrees to be complete scams because the only reason why you really pursue higher education in these degrees is because you can't find a job after your bachelor's. But what are we doing if we can't find a job after our bachelor's? Like, then what was the point of the bachelor's? I am 5 years post-grad and I do regret getting a master's degree. I'm happy that I had the fun. I guess I had the money to blow, which doesn't make it as hard for me as it is for other people. And I recognize like that privilege. But if I had gone into debt over this degree, I don't think I would have come out of it, to be honest. I don't think I ever found a job that made so much money to pull me out of debt for like $100,000, $200,000 degree, whatever master's degrees are going for these days. I didn't pay that. I had a scholarship. But I can't imagine paying that much money for something that doesn't have a good return on investment. So to the people asking me if a master's degree is worth it, it's largely dependent on you, what you want to do, if you have the money to blow, and if you're okay with doing something completely different than what your degree is in.
The reality that many young people are now realizing is that a college degree is no longer the golden ticket to a job. Years ago, having a degree was enough to separate you from the crowd, but today, millions of people graduate from college every year. So in many industries, having a degree is now just the baseline expectation, not something that makes you stand out. And one of the biggest issues in the job market right now is what economists call the skills gap. So the skills gap is basically the mismatch between the skills employers need and the skills many job seekers actually have. Because of this, a lot of employers are starting to care less about degrees and more about whether someone can actually do the job. So the question becomes, What can you actually do if you are struggling to find a job? One of the best things you can do is to increase your competency by learning specific skills that employers are actively looking for. And that's where platforms like Course Careers come in. Course Careers connects people to industries and jobs that are actually hiring. Between promised course and industry. The reality that
okay with doing something completely different than what your degree is in.
Oh, hold on real quick.
An older millennial
is that employers actually want.
I wish that
This is a sponsor.
Gen X your control.
Than what your degree is in.
Gen X and
All right, there we go.
boomers and even older millennials understood how bad the job market is nowadays. Like, it's even difficult for kids with degrees from Ivy Leagues to get a good job, at least when it comes to white-collar jobs. AI is literally replacing employees, and no, there's not like an AI version of Jake from The Office, right? Like, it's a little different than that, but they're just not hiring anymore for entry-level roles because the job can be done with significantly less employees. As this rolls out, it's going to be even harder and harder to get a white-collar job because now, like, the big businesses kind of are starting to do this, but there's also like solutions being sold to medium and smaller businesses, and then there's going to be even less jobs to have, and it's really hard for people out here, okay? And college degrees are kind of useless. Like, I know you think that they're worth a lot, but they're kind of not, because the person who learned how to code and started his own app, like, he's making a lot more money than the person who went to school for 4 years.
NBC just published an article about long-term unemployment becoming the status quo in today's...
It's really fucking bleak, you guys. I got laid off from Teen Vogue in, like, technically December. The news came down in November. I have been furiously job searching since then, interviewing, reaching out to every person that I know who works in the media industry. Like, I have met so many people at this point. I got another rejection today. I'll just be upfront about it. I got rejected by Elle. I got rejected by InStyle. I got rejected by Vogue, even though I, like, worked under the same umbrella. I'm getting rejected by beauty brands that I applied to. I have writing, editing, social media management, knowing how to make content just based on me doing this. I have all of this experience. I have, like, communication experience. I'm good with fucking people. I know how to interview. I know how to do customer service, which is something that a lot of people don't know how to fucking do. And it feels impossible to get a job. I am fighting for my goddamn life. It is a struggle every single day. I work at a gym, and I also just started managing a tattoo shop because I need to make a living. I don't have generational wealth. I don't have unemployment. I am down so horrifically bad financially. I just have to get by. And I've reworked my resume. I've reworked my cover letter. It doesn't seem to matter.
Crystal.
Nothing seems to
Operator.
matter.
Welcome.
It's really
How are
insane,
you?
and it makes you question everything. And seeing that this is happening, and seeing that 1.8 million Americans have been unemployed for more than 6 months, and these people that are qualified and were making 6 figures, like, I've spent 10 years in my career. 10 fucking years I've been working in this career. And
Has
it's
Cutie been a
impossible.
good girl?
What the fuck do we do? Literally, what do we do? I don't know the point of this video. I just want people to know that I know how it feels, and I'm right there with you, and I'm also hanging on by a fucking thread.
You know, it should not be this difficult to find a job. And I don't care what age you are. I am not a fan of Indeed at all. I think a lot of those jobs that are posted on there are fake. Not 100% sure about ZipRecruiter. What happened to just going into a place, like I'm sitting here at Lowe's right now. What happened to just going in and getting an application and applying and giving them a chance to get to know you instead of looking at you
Literally, my parents asked for an
digital
application for on my hand, on my
disqualifying
behalf,
you
and they
because
told
maybe
them
you
to
don't have
go
one word
online.
correct, or maybe you don't have the keywords they're looking for. What happened? What happened? Why is it that difficult? It should not be like this. It should not. And it's not just people like me that are in their 50s looking for work. My granddaughter is struggling to find work. My daughters, well, one of them's doing okay. But, you know, it should not be this hard. My son, who is former military, should not be struggling to find work. This is something that needs to be corrected. I mean, we're working on immigration and all this other crap. What about those of us struggling to find work? Why does it have to be digital? Who made that a mandatory thing?
Companies did.
Anyways, just my rant for the day.
To all the unemployed people right now and that are dealing with this horrible market, including me, because I was laid off in November and still cannot get an interview and have been applying to jobs every single day. And then all I hear back is, oh, we decided not to go. And then they repost posting, which means, what do you mean you
What are you
didn't pick
nomming?
someone? Like, you know, or they automatically reply to you in like 2 days, or it takes them a month to reply to you. But because there's no accountability on the other side of this, you know? And LinkedIn and Indeed aren't holding these employers accountable or the recruiters for reposting these, because truly some of these job postings aren't even real. They're just for like tax reasons and that, or even data gathering. They're just trying to gather your data, which is even worse because, you know, you're vulnerable, you're trying to find a job. They're telling you there's all these jobs out there. You're applying, you're really wanting to work, but truly not even giving you anything. And it feels out of your control. And just understand that you are doing your best, and this is a hard time for a lot of people, and this market is just not great at all. And I truly feel for you because I understand how this is. There really needs to be like an app or a site that matches people well with these jobs and also holds accountable on both sides, including like having to respond back by a certain amount of days, have to have a certain amount of interviews, have to, you know, which helps the process move along faster for these recruiters and also get people hired in their companies that they like, and better matches too, which helps. Or limited space on applications, you know, not allowing thousands of people to apply to one position, you know. And if you don't find a certain amount of people in those days and those interviews, then you can repost it. It would be so much more efficient and better on both sides for this, you know. I wish they had this, but if they do, let me know because I want to be on that site and use it. So good luck on your job search, and sending love to all the people that are unemployed and dealing with this terrible market right now.
The reality is that a lot of people are struggling to find jobs right now, and there are several reasons why this is happening. As I mentioned, the skills gap is a big one, but another reason is that many companies have slowed down hiring because they are uncertain about the future of the economy. With constant talks about a possible recession, many companies are choosing to be cautious and limiting how many people they hire. At the same time, AI is continuing to automate many entry-level tasks, which makes it even harder for people with no experience to break into certain industries. And on the top of that, mass layoffs have become extremely common over the past few years, which means the competition is at all-time high. Because now we have a very big pool of experienced people who are searching for jobs, and they are competing for the few jobs available. So basically, new workers are being squeezed from every direction, but it doesn't mean there aren't things you can do to increase your chances. The first thing you can do is to invest in learning skills that employers actually need, because no matter how the economy gets, no matter what happens in the economy, variable skills will always matter. Second thing is networking. Network as much as possible. A surprising number of jobs are filled through referrals and connections rather than online applications. So it is important that you also get out there, try to network, try to know people who matter. Third, apply to as many opportunities as you can. It is a numbers game. The process might feel frustrating and slow, but persistence really does increase your chances. So keep applying.
It does.
Eventually, if you keep improving your skills and keep putting yourself out there, something will work out.
Or not, and the economy just goes to shit.
I have a question for you all.
Your mom.
Are cartoons dying off? Why does it seem that Generation Alpha kids care less about animation and would rather watch YouTube videos instead? And when I say YouTube videos, I primarily mean slop.
What the hell is this thing? Ice in a toilet with...
Well, let's talk about it. Hold on a sec. The stupid green screen suit is itchy. Okay, yeah. That's better. As a millennial, or as my Gen Alpha relatives call me, Unk, I grew up watching cartoons on television. Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney Channel, to name a few. It was a golden age for animation. On TV, and I was absolutely spoiled. It wouldn't be until around the mid-2010s that I would start to wonder what the landscape of cartoons would look like for future generations. Would they keep watching shows on TV, or would it be on streaming services? Perhaps a combination of the two? But it never occurred to me that there was another option. That some kids would just lose interest in cartoons in general. For the record, I am not claiming that this is an absolute for Generation Alpha, but when compared to millennials and even Zoomers, cartoons don't seem to resonate with Gen Alpha kids the same way as previous generations. The only recent breakout hit that seems to have any staying power with them is K-pop Demon Hunters, which isn't that surprising, but in terms of competition and influence, things are looking pretty grim. Why does it feel like Gen Alpha is rejecting animation for other media? And what are they seeking out instead? At the time of recording this video, I was recently at a basketball game for my nephew, and I noticed how many kids at the event were just watching YouTube shorts on their parents' phones and iPads. There was even a moment when the coach prayed, because this was a church sports league, and one kid did not even pause their video. He just kept watching, and I had to hold back my laughter as the coach had to speak over these slop shorts. Like you had Randy Marsh making his voice in the background as his coach is trying to pray for a safe game. I was dying of laughter. But that legit got me to wonder about Generation Alpha and if they even care about cartoons anymore. I asked my nephew and his teammates what they like to watch, and they said YouTube. And I was like, okay, but like what on YouTube? And they said, shorts. And then I said, okay, but like what kind of shorts? And they said, just whatever shows up. Needless to say, I was a bit depressed with that answer. Over the last 25 years, entertainment has shifted from watching shows on our TVs in our living room to watching content on our mobile devices whenever we want, wherever we want. And I think that has led us to a concerning situation. That Gen Alpha kids would much rather watch short-form dopamine slop instead of movies or shows. Yes, I know, I sound like an old man shaking his cane at the future.
We got a boomer!
But there have been legitimate scientific studies that reveal how destructive short-form content can be on the psyche, especially for children. Am I right to be concerned? Am I wrong? What's going on here? Are cartoons truly dying off? Or is something else going on? Well, let's find out.
So is this it? Is this what the kids like? This was hot in the streets, Riley?
Okay, that's it. You're going to timeout.
Oh boy.
Before we get into the Gen Alpha stuff and the current state of affairs, I want to sit in my rocker and tell you youngings real quick about the old days of animation. An ancient era called the 1990s. Like I said, back in the day, we watched television, and you had to watch whatever was on and deal with it. Commercials, all the time. And the worst part? You couldn't bring the TV with you, unless you were like some super rich kid with a mobile TV. No, damn brats. Back then, television networks cared a lot about branding. Certain channels had particular personalities, and it went even deeper depending on the block of shows you were watching. On my sick days from school, where I was totally sick, right? Wink, wink. I would start with Nick Jr.
Wink, nudge,
and
nudge.
then watch Nicktoons, and then end the day with Nick at Night. Oh, what's that? You want to watch a particular show right away? Too bad. You gotta wait. And if you missed it, you have to try again some other time. I missed so many episodes of Pokemon that way. It broke my heart. There was a monoculture surrounding television at the time. And one of the most important ones to me was Cartoon Fridays. I would watch that block of cartoons all the time. Toonami, you better believe it. And I was a diehard for Adult Swim. Oh, by the way, mad props to Adult Swim for fighting the good fight. Like when I'm staying at hotels, I'll turn on the TV because no other option, right? And I'll put on Adult Swim. And they're still doing their original bumpers for their shows. Like there's legit effort. Though at this point, I imagine the main demographic that watches Adult Swim nowadays are pathetic, nostalgia-starved 30-something-year-olds. What are you doing? Why is that mirror in my recording booth? Oh, it's me. It's been 25 years. But throughout the 2000s, animation started to pop up on websites like eBaum's World and Newgrounds. I was blown away seeing amateur cartoons that I would never see on television. Like a singing badger and Lord of the Rings? What the hell? Absolutely groundbreaking. I loved it. A singing narwhal song? Hell yeah, dude. I want to watch that. YouTube would start to take off as well. And by the early 2010s, we saw a lot of folks who started on Newgrounds start to upload onto YouTube, like Harry Partridge and Egoraptor. Yeah, not Aaron Hansen, Egoraptor. Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. God, I'm so old. Now, I'm hitting the broad strokes here, but animators started to show up on YouTube and will get millions of views. But then, out of the blue, YouTube in the early 2010s decided that watch time was much more important than views and basically gave the middle finger to animators. These creators had to adapt. The solution? Limited animation that was easier to make and more personality-driven. AKA Storytime Animators. While YouTube was growing in popularity throughout the 2010s, television was dying off. And I was wondering when certain channels would make the jump into streaming. Like, come on, Cartoon Network, do something. I'm not buying cable. I have other ways of watching your shows. Yarg. It took a while as they definitely dragged their feet. But by the late 2010s and early 2020s, Disney, Paramount, and Warner were launching their own streaming services so they could compete with YouTube and Netflix. It's kind of funny. YouTube was never seen as much of a threat during the 2010s. But after COVID hit, everything changed. Some would say for the worst. I remember having relatives and friends asking me how they could launch their own online career. And that is when I knew that YouTube had officially arrived as a platform. For what it's worth, a lot of this is due to the advancement of smart devices like phones and tablets. Like, for years, you could watch YouTube videos on your phone, but it took streaming services forever to finally catch up with YouTube. Again, accessibility is everything. So yeah, we saw the monoculture of television start to erode as it gave way to the rise of YouTube. Animation became a lot more decentralized, which is not inherently a bad thing, but it's an uphill battle when the site you're on sees all videos as one thing: content. Your original animation is competing against other creators who can upload videos a hell of a lot quicker than you can. And more importantly, a lot cheaper too. So TV basically died off, and YouTube reigns as the current king. For a while, I thought this was a good thing, but over the last few years, I've started to worry. YouTube is oversaturated with brain rot and AI slop. Like, to a concerning degree. There used to be a time where cartoons on television had to meet a certain criteria, so it wasn't just purely garbage. Like, don't get me wrong, Not every cartoon was a gem, but compared to modern-day YouTube, well, let's just say I would take Uncle Grandpa over this slop any day of the week. Oh, Uncle Grandpa, I'm so sorry. We were too harsh to you. Essentially, long-form cartoons were traded in for short-form content. Content that doesn't have to meet any criteria of substance. If anything, this new wave of content actually damages the minds of children. It's crazy, because back in the 1990s, we used to think that the boob tube was rotting brains, but we truly had no idea what was waiting for us on the horizon. And it's so much worse. Now, I think it's important to start off this section with how modern kids interact with shows and media. Unsurprisingly, and like I said before, the major culprits are, you guessed it, tablets and phones. No surprise there. I constantly see kids being given a tablet to stop fussing at a restaurant, or overwhelmed parents giving them their phone to watch Cocomelon at the grocery store. While that's an understandable response to the occasional tantrum, it can quickly become a habit that's nearly impossible to undo. I did some research digging into why tech reliance became so ubiquitous, and the results from it are honestly pretty shocking. There are statistics to back it up too. Based on a 2025 report in Common Sense Media, an estimated 4 out of 10 American kids have their first tablet by age 2. By age 4, that figure jumps up to 6 out of 10 kids. And then when it comes to cell phones, 1 in 4 kids will have their own phone by age 8. Personally, I'm guessing it's because the kids receiving them have been conditioned.
Wait, have I... Hold on real quick. I just realized something. Oh, what the fuck? Had a wrong category. Category tag. I didn't check the category tag. I was trying to make sure everything was working correctly. Fuck me. And it wouldn't be a true stream if there wasn't any scuff. No? Alright.
To think that it's a normal rite of passage by that age. But I also think it's a testament to how some parents don't consider the safety or long-term effects that kind of unfettered access will have on their child's brain development and mental health.
Since we've been standardizing and measuring cognitive development since the late 1800s, every generation has outperformed their parents. And that's exactly what we want. We want sharper kids. Until Gen Z. Gen Z is the first generation in modern history to underperform us on basically every cognitive measure we have, from basic attention to memory to literacy to numeracy to executive functioning to even general IQ, even though they go to more school than we did.
With all of these stats in mind, it's easy to see why so many predatory YouTube channels actively target kids through low-effort, brain-rot content. And YouTube has given them a financial incentive to exploit content loopholes and capitalize on them by overloading the brains of kids to be more receptive to fast-paced content. Along with access to YouTube Shorts, the fast-paced editing, excessive noise, and blinding colors and brain-rot content is actually rewiring kids' brain chemistry. It destroys their attention span, emotional regulation, and ruins sleep patterns during a critical period of brain development. If you're constantly being stimulated by a bunch of dopamine, releasing content or visual cues, that becomes normal for your brain, even when it obviously isn't. Anything slower pace feels boring by comparison, leading to more distracted and disruptive behavior. Again, many of these low-effort videos feel like the digital equivalents of jingling keys in front of children. And hey, adults too. YouTube is king for video accessibility, and it's especially critical when it comes to expanding a mainstream show's audience. Streaming services like Disney Plus are finally catching on and putting full episodes of their shows onto YouTube. The selection of episodes may be more limited to persuade parents to sign up for a full membership, but there are still enough on there to make a sizable dent in views. That specifically applies to shows generally meant for kids 6 and under, like Bluey, Paw Patrol, or Sesame Street. Bluey episode compilations get millions of views because demand for the show is just that high. Many parents use it as background noise for their kids to watch while they do other tasks around the house. However, I think the real issue is when their watch time is unsupervised. Because guess what? YouTube will figure out a way to offer slop to them via the algorithm. But YouTube is one thing. Its direct competition for entertainment is, of course, video games, especially for kids aged 6 to 12. Yeah, you know the game. You know what it is. Roblox. That game, Gen Alpha worships it. It's insane. I wonder if that's the equivalent of like boomers looking at millennials with Pokemon.
Hi, Coco.
That's how I feel with Gen Alpha with Roblox. They love that game. Apparently the game is like terrifying too, with like a lot of creepy adults on it. So yeah, no good. And the worst part is once these Gen Alpha kids are at school age, they're largely seeking out more curated content geared towards gaming, hobbies, and crafts. Which again, double-edged sword, but when not like supervised or monitored, when the algorithm goes off, it can lead you down a very dark rabbit hole.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and become
that can come with
here.
excessive screen time and watching poor quality content is also pretty concerning. If there's not a ton of actual information or lessons to be learned, kids won't retain much of what they watched. Those scrolling habits can also translate to a social media addiction further down the line. Yeah, I'm looking at you, adults, okay? I'm just saying, we gotta be better. We gotta put the phone down and
if
go
you need
outside
to get somewhere
and look at some
or like
birds. I'm just saying.
need a distraction,
kids are drawn to the
or just need
social
someone
aspect of
around.
games like Fortnite and of course Roblox. Because there are thousands of different games to choose from, which they can jump between as easily as going between Reels or Instagram. All that unregulated dopamine is being exploited by bad actors who don't care about making games that have any actual substance. It's more about making a lot of noise and retaining their attention as much as possible, like a virtual slot machine that is just addictive enough to keep them around. The central gimmick of Roblox takes advantage of the weird and random novelty content that kids love. Unfortunately, that's also what makes them so susceptible to coming across inappropriate content without realizing it. 40% of Roblox's 85 million player base is under 13. That is about 34 million kids. But Roblox has gotten into some serious hot water for being a huge, unregulated playground. You're no Club Penguin, Roblox. They've been sued by hundreds of parents, 6 different states, and outright banned in 6 countries for failing to implement safeguards against sexual predators using their platforms to groom minors. And if you've seen any videos by Schlep on the subject, then you know that this has been a problem on Roblox for years. That's why it's on parents to actually moderate what their kids are doing online or monitor what they're watching on YouTube. Like, yeah, it might be easy to rely on an iPad to keep the kids quiet while getting chores done, but doing it all the time creates an unhealthy emotional dependence. This constant use of distractions isn't helping their emotional resiliency either. It's making it worse. And without consistent parental intervention, this can lead to long-term issues with aggression, anxiety, and depression. If parents always resort to a video distraction to deal with an emotional problem, then kids won't know how to process those feelings and resolve them in a healthier way by talking things out. To me, the closest thing we have to a middle ground is having limits for screen time and allowing kids to be bored sometimes. Boredom doesn't have to be seen as a bad thing. It's an opportunity for kids to be more creative and find new ways to make their own fun. I remember being in like the car when I was a kid with no Game Boy on me. Unfortunately, my mom would take it away. And I would look out the window and just imagine a story while the car moves along. I may do. And just look at me now. Maybe we should have iPads. Jokes aside, some millennial parents are also changing their tactics and opting to show their kids the cartoons they grew up with in the 80s and 90s. Slower-paced animated programs with lesson or challenging messages activate a different part of their brains, the same one that's linked to patience, empathy, and emotional resiliency. Shows that are seeing a resurgence of popularity include Winnie the Pooh, DuckTales, Rugrats, Little Bear, and Franklin.
I didn't get all
This
those
is especially
shows.
easier
I didn't
with
know
streaming
library.
services and re-uploads onto YouTube to make them more accessible for new viewers. Additionally, classic cartoons like Tom and Jerry or the Looney Tunes are still doing numbers on streaming. Their blend of universal slapstick comedy resonates with kids because the humor is timeless, with simple but well-defined characters and shorter run times that keeps them mentally engaged. I get the impression parents want their kids to still be able to watch funny, fast-paced cartoons, but without the brain rot elements that cause a sensory overload. The impact of this programming is even better when a parent or guardian watches it with them too, because it makes watching a show like Bluey more engaging and challenges them to think critically. Kids are a lot more perceptive than people give them credit for, and they can tell when an iPad is being put in front of them to shut them up, even if they'd rather do a different activity. The tough part for parents is practicing what you preach. If you're on your phone all the time, but you take away the iPad when you're supposed to be interacting with them, kids will notice. It'll make those restrictions feel more arbitrary. When they can tell you're not willing to part with your phone in the same way you'd expect them to. Now, is this the perfect solution? Maybe not. But I'm glad to see at least some adults doing what they can to set limits on the kind of content that should be dying off on YouTube. Until there are enough barriers in place to prevent bad actors from profiting off a broken system, I think it's the best we can do for now. Now, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. There is hope. I have family and friends who have kids, and they do an amazing job raising them. The kids can have fun with the tablets, and they can put them away when it's time to focus. Hell, I'm not gonna pretend that I was better than these kids when I was a child. I took my Game Boy with me everywhere, so you better believe I'd be addicted to the tablet if I had the chance. That being said, I watched a few movies with my Gen Alpha relatives, and they loved them. Babe, K-pop Demon Hunter, and Spirited Away, to name a few. And they loved them. So yeah, there is hope. But you've got to facilitate these experiences. Make it fun for them. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
But this is admittedly a growing problem. I have a friend who is a teacher, and he told me that some of his students, who range between 6 to 9 years old, don't even know how to tie their own shoes. That their attention spans are so fried that they won't take the time to learn how to understand this simple skill.
To be fair, my parents never really taught me how to tie my shoes until I was like 10 years old. They waited that long. So not only some millennial parents are pretty much shoving an iPad for your kid to shut them up, which if you don't know how to parent your kid without shoving an iPad in their face, you shouldn't be a parent at all. Plus, I'm betting that the kids who are not learning how to tie their shoes, those parents also don't know how to tie their shoes.
That terrifies me. It's important for these kids to learn the virtue of patience. Hell, I think we all can improve on that front. Oh, hold on a second. I've been waiting for like 5 minutes for my Uber delivery. Come on! It's a 60-mile drive. How long can that take? Where's my Taco Bell? Oh, I'm no better, am I? In conclusion, are cartoons dying off due to a lack of interest from Gen Alpha kids? Not exactly. But the way they watch entertainment compared to Zoomers and Millennials has shifted drastically. Great animated series for kids are still being made and deserve an audience. But YouTube has become the dominant website for virtually everyone, and especially for kids. It's easy to access, it's parasocial, it's where the popular online influencers are, it's a powerhouse for video games, it's trendy, and to top it all off, it's free. Every other streaming service is still playing catch up with YouTube. And try as they might, they cannot replicate YouTube's identity or culture. You can't just buy your way into it, too. It has to be built brick by brick. That's a big reason why YouTube has no equal except for, like, TikTok. And even then, that's only in regards to short-form content. In my opinion, it all comes down to accessibility. You put up a paywall? Well, don't be surprised that most kids will just watch YouTube instead. They already don't have much of an attention span for long-form entertainment. So making them or their parents pay for it too just adds in another buffer. It's up to the big distribution companies to make their content as available to audiences as possible. Cable TV, as we know it, is a dead medium. But quality shows can still survive if they're provided on platforms kids are actually watching them on. Make a free version of Hulu or Netflix or Disney Plus. Charge your viewers by including ads. Hell, upload your episodes to YouTube if you want. It won't be very profitable, but it will build brand awareness. And it might even translate over to merchandise sales. Or hey, Fortnite skins, huh? How about that? Ultimately, nobody could have predicted the insane impact YouTube would have on the media landscape and the world of entertainment in general. Hell, you got industry people launching their own YouTube channels and showing up in popular YouTubers' videos and streams, just so they can remain relevant with Zoomers and Gen Alpha kids. The tables have truly turned, and after years of being seen as a nerdy novelty, YouTube is now king. I never thought I would see the day, and honestly, it kind of scares me. On one hand, YouTube has opened the door and decentralized entertainment and has allowed the average Joe to have a legit chance to be a professional entertainer for a living without the assistance of Hollywood. That you don't have to go through a massive corporation as a gateway into the industry. On the other hand, this accessibility has opened the floodgates. And there are now more people uploading today than ever before. And thanks to generative AI, those numbers are only going to exponentially grow as time goes on. Millions of people each day uploading videos and doing anything so they can be seen or heard, which usually means it's a race to the bottom. YouTube doesn't really care about quality. It cares about consistency, which is why it's so hard for original animation to survive on the platform. Not impossible, Glitch has demonstrated that, but still extremely difficult. So for many kids who still enjoy animation, they aren't really watching said animation because it's hard to produce, especially original creations. But maybe that will change too as time goes on. Overall, there's hope, but as time goes on, I'm more concerned about the state of the internet. It has become a breeding ground for cruelty, cynicism, and misinformation. Of course, I owe my livelihood to YouTube, but what it was years ago has drastically changed. And seeing what it has become is surreal and unnerving. There's good, there's bad, but ultimately, we are living test subjects. Nothing like this has ever existed in our species' history, and we don't know what it will do to us in the long run. Will the good outweigh the bad? Or is this just another step towards our inevitable collapse? Will Gen Alpha pick Roblox over cartoons? Or can Bluey save us all? Only time will tell. But hey folks, those are just my thoughts. What do you all think? Tell me down below in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.
Honestly,
just when I thought Gen Alpha might start reading a book or learning what letters are, I learned this is what teachers are doing now just to keep Gen Alpha's attention.
Our assignment was make a POV meme. POV, your stepmother is being a Karen.
4, 5. 6, 7.
If we go extinct, we deserve it. And we need to talk about this because the brain-rotted kids of today are going to be the presidents, the Harvard professors of tomorrow. Because you know how Alexander the Great talks about his formative education with Aristotle? Our next world-renowned scientist is going to have to talk about their formative education of both 6 and 7.
1, 2.
they don't use Gen Alpha brain rot, then the teachers will just get confused. Students will insult them by saying that the teacher is from Ohio, and the teachers are like, what? I'm from Illinois, I don't get it.
My camper one time said that I was from Ohio, and I don't even know how that's like an insult.
My Explorer girls said that they were mewing, and I didn't know what they were talking about. I thought they meant like a cow.
Mewing for a cow? Clavicular is turning over in his grave.
One time, one of my campers told me that I had negative 1,000 aura.
One time, a group of my campers said that my outfit was skibbity.
And this is a result of a generation born and bred on the iPad. Gen Z got on screens pretty young. Millennials not so much till they were adults. These kids, I would say know iPads like the back of their hands, but they're so busy looking at Roblox on their iPads, they don't even know the back of their hands. So I'll say these kids know iPads like Gen Z knew the Duck song.
When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand.
Think about it. A lot of these kids have baby photos with the Snapchat dog face.
Come on. I don't want to be fucking copyright, you piece of shit.
The sound of Jacob Sartorius' sweatshirt.
Then you can wear my...
Any child-appropriate entertainment. I've already discussed how there are no more kids shows. So now you have 10-year-olds requesting very suggestive rap songs in elementary school.
Back in my senior year of high school, I worked with my elementary school's robotics team, and let me tell you, these kids are completely different than how we were when we were their age. I had a 5th grader come up to me and ask if I could program the robot to play Shotta Flow by NLE Chopper. Like, you're 10 years old. You should not know what that song is.
Bro, you're in robotics class and you're requesting mumble rap? You're in robotics class. You were too nerdy for Quiz Bowl.
Every single last one of them had a phone, and like 90% of those phones had Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok installed. Like, you're too young. Like, these kids have just grown up being constantly exposed to just instant gratification from their big sticky iPads, and it has just completely fried their brain.
The de-education of Gen Alpha is so pervasive that not only are teachers quitting at rates higher than ever recorded, but all of Gen Z is independently concluding that we cannot allow this to continue. People have been asking me, what's the solution to the Gen Alpha problems? Well, we have to start by stop perpetuating it. We must save Gen Beta from becoming Gen Alpha zombies. Follow what this girl says.
And as someone who is a part of Gen Z, please, for the love of God, can we all agree, no iPads?
Except, I don't know how Gen Z is supposed to do that when there's no infrastructure aimed at kids anymore. This one is just illegal. They are replacing Pop Goes the Weasel with Pop Goes the AirPods.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Hell no!
Monument with the washing machine monument. Like, this is like replacing an X-ray with an XXXTentacion ray. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Every now and then I get some comment from some boomer who's like,
actually, Gen Alpha is a wonderful butterfly. They are all geniuses. There are just a few bad apples.
I'm sorry, but the whole orchard is rotten. But it's not their fault, it's our fault. We have planted their orchard. I'm really running with this metaphor. It's gotten so bad that even the former Gen Alpha apologists, the people who used to defend Gen Alpha, even they have caved.
I was not going to participate in the Gen Alpha slander because I have 2 Gen Alpha kids and I think they're pretty great. But then I took my kids to a public green space the other day and oh my God, they're the worst. This little boy, there was a little boy, he had to be like 3 or 4. Not my child, I had to pull him off of 4 different kids, one being my own. After he fucked with my kid, every kid he went near after, I told him to stop. And guess what? Every single time I looked over at his mom, she's chatting with her friend. And at that point, like, why would I even go up to her and say, hey, your child's being a little piece of shit? Because you're sitting here being a piece of shit parent.
Wow, like parents are asleep at the wheel. Past generations could not be this rude. They could not walk up to some unsuspecting Romanian immigrant and throw Skechers at them. But it seems like Gen Alpha would be able to get away with doing that. When I was a kid, I was called on the carpet for being so impudent as to ask my 3rd grade teacher during our school election who they voted for. And that was so... How could you be so thoughtless? That is so rude. And now, like, a Gen Alpha kid could just walk up and, like, kidnap that teacher probably, force that teacher to join ISIS, and then fail their algebra homework as well, and their parents would still let them get away with it. We're just letting Gen Alpha run roughshod over all polite society
We shouldn't
and any human norms. And this is why I have so many comments saying,
I'm Gen Alpha, but I don't identify as Gen Alpha.
I'm a transgenerational Gen Z, please accept me. That's not how this works, okay? You don't get generational pronouns. And it's also not even true. Like, the Gen Alphas who say, oh, I had a Gen Z childhood. Bruh, this was your childhood.
Just show you that I'm Gen Z. I'm nothing like that kid over there. Gimme, pop, pop, yes.
Generational gap is a chasm, okay? Like Gen Alpha, Gen Z, we can't even communicate with each other. And we were born like 5 years apart. Case in point.
She's Gen Z, I'm Gen Alpha. She doesn't think I know what she knows, and I don't think she knows anything that I know.
Okay, first question.
The fuck?
1730.
This is the equivalent to the Broncos playing like the Chiefs, you know?
Everybody hurry?
Raindrop.
Water.
Do it for the
fans.
What?
I'm gonna do some Italian brain rot. Trallalero.
Tralala.
Okay, one right. 6.
7.
7?
No. Give me one more chance.
6, 7.
6-1.
I'm sorry, did he just say 6-1? That's the new 6-7? 6-1? Thought we were done with this shit. Gosh, if there's anything worse than brain rot, it's Italian brain rot. Why can't we have good old-fashioned American brain rot? Next, we're gonna have like Esperanto brain rot. Like imagine speaking gibberish and then translating that gibberish into Italian. It's at this point, like, why learn another language? Why not just learn words that have no meaning and then translate them into the new language so you can say things with no meaning in a new language? Because these kids are actually saying some kind of Italian phrases. So learning Italian just to say brain rot, it's like going to the skin doctor for your glaucoma, or trying to stay sober but the bartender is Bill Cosby. Like, kids can't even interact with the real world anymore. They will take real objects like food and impose brain rot onto the real object. And this is what I'm talking about when people are like, every generation has brain rot. No, Gen Z may have had memes that were somewhat absurd, but we never tried to paint over all of reality with brain rot. Like, for these kids, real values, like watching TV being better than watching TV on a kitchen appliance, is lost on them. They will flee from a flat screen to watch Coco Melon next to their orange juice.
What the hell? 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 What the hell?
But I will grant, I think this conversation is missing one piece of nuance. And I hate to give something to the transgenerationals, to the kids pleading that they're not Gen Alpha, they identify as Gen Z. But I will say, kids born between, say, 2008 and 2014, it is a different experience than if you were born in 2019. Like, you had different life events shape you. And you might even have a vague memory of the world before screens took over.
I think there's a secret generation between Gen Z and Gen Alpha that is going to potentially
So you're telling me that you now found out that generational cusp exists? Wow! Who could have known? Fucking hell.
havoc. Let me paint you a picture. You are a child, born from 2007 to 2011. Not only were you raised with a device in your hand, but you also had access to social media from the day you were born. This is bad. On top of that, you grow up, iPad baby. Okay, cool, we're all guilty a little bit, but then in middle school, you get hit with COVID lockdowns for like a year or two. That cannot be good for the developing mind of a child and their interpersonal relationship skills. Okay, but we make it through, then what? Surely things get better, right? No! Then in high school, they get access to the unfiltered power of ChatGPT, which undoubtedly stunts their learning because they have a button they can click to just skip all the process. Not to mention COVID school was a total joke. And I just think these kids got dealt a pretty abysmal hand.
And young Dr. Doofenshmirtz has a point. We did put these kids into this world. We did thrust a lot of these obstacles in their way. So when we're discussing the failures of Gen Alpha, we're really discussing our failures to Gen Alpha.
They call them iPad kids, like the kids just went out and bought an iPad. Let's just be honest, millennials and Gen Z, they don't want to be parents.
all the time. The iPad just helps with the co-parenting.
But there's a great what I call Gen Alpha bifurcation, where half of the Gen Alphas are like, please accept me into Gen Z, I disown all the iPad kids. And the other half think nothing's wrong and look like this.
Beat that, Gramps. Gramps? I'm in my 20s. Yeah, 1920s.
If you're a Gen Alpha watching this video, you're part of the good half. You're not shouting Italian brain rot like these guys.
Jesus Christ.
You're hopefully learning Italian instead. Hopefully in class you're able to spell BMW.
Okay, Zaire, how do you spell BMW? B-E-Y. Okay, Jeremiah, this might be a trick question. What is the shape of that circle?
It's a rectangle.
Jeremiah, I just gave it to you!
What's so sad is like, there are probably so many Gen Alpha kids for real who can't spell BMW. People are asking, oh my gosh, how will these Gen Alpha kids ever take the SATs one day? It's like, I'll be excited if they can spell SATs, okay? And it's not like...
Honestly, here's a dark joke. But in like, I'm predicting like past 10 years. I'm predicting past 10 years. Not in the like past, like not like in the past, but like I'm predicting in more than 10 years. So this is past the 10-year mark in the future. In more than 10 years, Gen Alpha is going to pass the STIs before they pass the SATs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so ADHD rant here. Well, like ADHD rant, but like, so like one of my blood tests I had done like sometime in the last year, pretty much like got the whole, hey, are you active or not? And blah blah blah. Like, I let them know if this or that counts active, and the nurse said no. I was like, oh, then no. Like, oh, what do you fucking expect? And I thought pretty much told her, like, hey, nurse, I'm pretty much flat broke. I cannot even afford to go outside. I can't even afford to spend time outside. There's like, yeah.
Gen Alpha is only trading in brain power for brain rot. They're trading in all of what used to make childhood fun or worthwhile. Along with giving up learning, Gen Alpha is growing up when they're like 12.
Can we not have a copyright issue every 2 fucking seconds? Fuck you!
They're like not regular humans anymore. They're something else entirely.
Oh, guys, this is my little cousin Leo.
Hey guys.
Hi, Leo. Oh, have you been raising any huzzes in Ohio lately? Ryan, I don't know.
What?
I think what he meant to say was type shit. Type shit.
Type shit is supposed to be used at the end of a sentence.
Dang, you're being such an unk right now, right? Being such an unk. So, Leo.
Oh my god.
Tra-la-la.
I think my grandpa's calling me.
Okay, all right.
Did you just hear that?
I don't know. Yeah, I know. Hey there, kiddos. What are you guys talking about? Your favorite avocado toast recipes?
What?
What was that?
What the hell?
Okay, Zoomer.
Think about that video. For all
Okay,
of the
Zoomer, what
apologists
the
saying
fuck?
Gen Z had their own brain rot, yeah, we may have had What Does the Fox Say or It's Raining Tacos.
It's raining tacos.
But no adult would feel like they had to scream that it's raining tacos in order to reach us. Although that would have been awesome. I just go to work and Dan Schneider yells, "It's peanut butter jelly time, peanut..." That would probably actually mean something different coming from him. And now Gen Z is between the devil and the deep blue sea, with cringe millennials on our right and brain dead Gen Alpha to our left. left. I feel like that Steelers Wheel song. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
I've looked to my right. Deji.
No.
He's saying we had the best movies. Let alone a Gen Alphite who is actually arguing that their movies, Turning Red, Hoppers, Elio, is better than Toy Story 3, Finding Nemo, or Monsters, Inc. And that's for the Gen Alpha kids who are even watching a movie at all. Like, I'll take a Gen Alpha kid watching Hoppers, anything full length, over the Gen Alpha kids screaming from their new TikTok dopamine hits.
Alright, so just trying to clean this up over here quick. So you guys speaking, holy shit. Alright. Just fun doing like the final touches here and there. These will also need final touches as well. Yeah.
Our kids in screens and forgetting what outside means is a choice. Look at this family, raising their kids in the year of our Lord 2026 to play with doll houses like it was the long distant past of 2011. Songs like this.
What it is?
Just when I thought Gen Alpha maybe, but it's better than filling out every makeup store. More girls, where you lead, they will follow, which can result in good, bad, and sometimes hilarious consequences.
Don't put it in your mouth.
I'm Stacy, and this is H-E-B Flavor favorite candle.
Honestly, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, I remember teaching my little sister some little, like, not really curse words, but pretty much like, words like stupid or dumb. You know, not something that curse words, but pretty much like mildly insulting.
But it's certainly a blood red flag that these kids cannot be separated from their iPads. Like it's life support. Like Captain couldn't be separated from Tanile. Well, I guess they got divorced. Like Angelina Jolie couldn't be separated from Brad Pitt. I guess they got divorced too. Like Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. Son of a... You try to take away iPads from these kids, it'll be like you just took away their crack.
Just give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Just give it! Damn!
I swear, we have a generation of Marion Berries, but instead of actual drugs, it's iPads. Look at the withdrawal they go into.
Day 2 without your iPad. How's it going, Joe?
Apple Patch.
But don't fall for any fatalism here. We can turn these kids around. We can give them real childhoods. Call the child abuse of Gen Alpha. I don't know if I'll call it that, but it certainly is abusive of children. I guess that makes it child abuse. It only takes the will. And how thrilling is that? Don't you want to be able to, not just for the sake of Gen Alpha's future minds, but for the sake of now, of having your kids be in love with and interacting with the real world, not a 2x4 representation of it, so you can interact with them on real things and talk about real movies and real sports and real plays and have them care much more about their family than about Coco Melon. Even if there was no benefit, don't you want to do that? Will it take some extra effort to give your kids a real childhood? Yes. Will it be a little more inconvenient? Yes. But as Chesterton taught us, an adventure is merely an inconvenience, rightly considered. You are your whole world to your kid. How can we think there's anything more important or transformative than that role we get to play? As a parent, you get to shape an entire person's universe. G.K. Chesterton said, "Of all modern notions, the worst is this, that domesticity is dull. Inside the home, they say, is dead decorum and routine. Outside is adventure and variety. But the truth is that the home is the only place of liberty, the only spot on earth where a man can alter arrangements suddenly, make an experiment, or indulge in a whim. The home is not the one tame place in a world of adventure. It is the one wild place in a world of rules and set tasks." People will complain to me, "Casey, everyone's moving towards screens. It's hopeless for Gen Alpha. I won't have kids, or if I do have kids, they're just set to have a miserable childhood." But that's what's so amazing about having your own family. You are the emperor. You can change things on a whim. You can have adventures. You can remove screens. You can have daily game nights. You can teach your kids all about the Magna Carta or Doctor Who or the Dick Van Dyke Show. You don't have to raise them on whatever is currently on TV. You can raise them on Marx Brothers routines or Mr. Rogers. To them, you are their whole universe. The outside world is nothing. So it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing because it's about your kid. You have the power to determine exactly what your kids will be, and the rest of us will surely thank you. The most totalitarian dictator will never have half the control over their average citizen as a parent does over their child. Use it for good. If you've ever had any unique family traditions, don't you cherish those most? And it only takes 2 years to create a tradition. So have your kids make their own games and then play them together. Or have your own family talent shows. You can just do things. And we should let our kids do things.
Exactly.
We can't complain to the teacher when they're playing dodgeball that they got hit by a flying ball.
Dear PE teacher, not even my name. My child informed me that during dodgeball, he was repeatedly targeted by flying balls.
Hey, yo.
He would like it noted that he signed up for school, not an action movie.
Oh man, yeah, it's almost as if that's the idea. Was it a little easier? Was it a lot easier to raise screen-free kids in the real world when kids in the neighborhood lived like Tom Sawyer and went down to the local river? Sure. But you can still do it now. People do it every day. There are people living in communes. There are people who are members of the Unification Church. There are people who still listen to Sweatshirt by Jacob Sartorius. Like, there are strange people everywhere. And by today's society, maybe you want your kid to be a little strange. I'd rather my kid seem alien to the normals than normal to the aliens. And now the normal person is becoming this alien monstrosity of iPad attention and disconnection from the people in front of you. Maybe the real fear is that your kid fits in. And what they're fitting in with is a brainless Italian wasteland. That's gotta be a new phrase in the history of humanity. You want your kid, we want all of our kids, far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife. And before you think it's impossible to raise kids differently than most people are, this has been true to some degree for 150 years. Thoreau reminded us, most men lead lives of quiet desperation, and what is called resignation is merely confirmed desperation. No parent loves a kid who's addicted to their iPad like crack cocaine, but oftentimes their quiet desperation will lead them to resignation, where they just say, it's not worth the fight, this is the way of the future. Maybe they even convince themselves it'll help their kids adapt to a new technology, and they just hand them their iPads. Their quiet desperation is being masked by outward resignation, but it is a characteristic of wisdom to never do desperate things. From the outside, it appears as if parents across America have deliberately chosen iPad parenting because they think it's a good idea. But truly, they're choosing it because they think there's no choice. But it is never too late to give up our prejudices. And Thoreau reminds us that no way of thinking or doing, however common, can be trusted without evidence. What everybody echoes as true today may turn out false tomorrow. But we're in a situation where what everybody is echoing today, iPad parenting, is proven false today. Even the phrase iPad parenting is a euphemism. It's not parenting at all. If someone says you can't not have a brain-rotted kid, try it for yourself. So this is the Hope Core video so many comments have been asking I make. This is your opportunity. Gen Alpha did not spring out of the earth like Athena from Zeus's skull. Gen Alpha was made and grown by us. If this crop of Gen Alpha kids was adopted when they were born by 19th century Welsh farmers, they wouldn't have any attention issues. It's clearly what it's how we're parenting. That's the whole story. And just remember this.
Exactly.
People say Gen Alpha is a product of too much stimulation. Nothing could be further from the truth. Gen Alpha is a product of too little stimulation. They're not stimulated by the beauty of a novel, of a film, of relationships with real people. So,
and I want to say that each generation is a product of both their environment and their parent, and the general parenting beliefs. Well, each generation is a product of their environment, basically. Gen Alpha is a product of a bunch of millennial parents who don't know how to parent and throw an iPad kid out there because they're under so much stress. What, God, why did you even have kids in the first place? Anywho, I think pretty much. I think this piece is not complete. This is taking way too long to complete, mostly because I didn't really have the time to even get this in properly, and I put a little bit more emphasis on gaming. But pretty much so. This piece is now complete. Or what I want to do now, before I complete this, info. Just blending this. Yeah. Oh, this looks so good. But I think I want solid shadows. And that works best for me. But yeah, this... Alright. So find it to be successful. Honestly. I'm happy that I have just finished this in the first place, pretty much. And I'll be posting this very soon. Allow me to do one more thing. And this one to signature. I'm gonna pretty much sign and date this real quick. Alrighty. Pin them on. There we go. Yep. There we go. And I'm gonna date this too. So this is March 16th, so we Oh, finally. I say just finally. Alright. That being said, I just want to say, just thank you everyone who joined today's stream. My name is Brandon Blitz. I'm a Friday streamer. I stream lots of video game chat, as well as I draw art, and hopefully I'll be doing 3D model for everyone here. As for like the next art piece, I want chat to tell to go to my Discord, go to my Twitter, and go to my Blue Sky. They're all in my card. They're in my card link. And also pretty much the link has also been shared here as well. But pretty much, yeah. I'm gonna do this. Pretty much that's the link to like pretty much my card site, and pretty much I list all my social media there, or where I'm on. I'm not active in all of them, but pretty much that's all of the where I do have an account on. That being said, you can spend the rest of the night relaxing and stuff like that. But in all regards to that being said, I gotta get going now, Blitzies. There we go. Bye bye, matinee.